Welcome to this edition of Silver Sneakers Boom Muscle. If you've been following me, you know I've been training on taking up the sport activity of powerlifting since the new year, so about 4.5 months. And my first meet is in 3 weeks. So in my reading of the experts, experienced lifters, I should be in a tapering mode, not doing the heavy lifts on a regular basis, trying to allow for muscle recovery, reduction of any particular injuries, and trying to improve my chances of doing my maximal lifts during the competition. In the meantime, I'm going to work on some accessory exercises. They support muscles, stabilization of my core, and going through the range of motion and the procedures for the lifts, but without pushing myself, except once a week, doing a couple lifts that are what I would anticipate would be my opening lift or first attempt, and then either the second or third lift, just to get in my mind that I can do these successfully. As I mentioned in a previous video, I think the environment of a powerlifting meet can be quite distracting, with lots of noise, maybe some audience members whooping and hollering, that the time gap between each lift can vary depending on the size of the flight you're in, 5, 10, 15 minutes or so. In between lifts, maybe 20 minutes. So, preparing to do a maximal lift with that length of time between each one, trying to maintain your core body temperature, your muscle being well stretched and ready to go, but sitting around for a long period of time. That's going to be quite a challenge, I think. So for the next 3 weeks, working on these stabilization and also starting to increase my action intervals and long, slow cardio. A lot of people try and cut weight right before lift to get into a lighter category, but in looking at the DOMS, DOM calculator, getting down to a lower category, let's say by losing 10 pounds, only gives you about a 10-pound advantage on the calculation of your score. But you can lose a lot of strength by trying to cut. So I've picked a category where I'm right in the middle. So if I gain a few pounds, lose a few pounds, I still am going to stay in that same weight category, at least for this session. Well, enough talking, so time to get ready for our workout. I'm going to do a typical warm-up. Again, go through some strengthening, resistance exercises, and some action intervals. Just a couple of other things before I start. With 3 weeks until my powerlifting event, in addition to tapering, I'm trying to improve any sort of overuse injuries, tendonitis, and that. Right now I have a tendonitis in my elbow, which bothers me some, and some shoulder pain on the other side. So going to try and avoid moves that aggravate those, which eliminates quite a bit of anything that involves bending your elbows, raising in the front. So we'll do some significant modifications. Right now, not having any issues with my lower body, so go through some exercises to increase range of motion, keep the muscles sort of toned, but avoid the heavy lifts except for my scheduled days when I'm just going to do my 3 power lifts, starting with my predicted opener and then a progression on the next 2 lifts. So really only 3 repetitions on each lift twice a week. Starting off, got the flexible pull this week. Get this behind my head, stretching out my shoulders. These ones are nice, is that they have some flexibility so I can push in and stretch out. one of my greatest difficulties is on the squat, getting the bar low enough on my back to where it's off my cervical spinous processes. So working on that. Then just doing some box squats to warm up. Trying to keep my upper body pretty much vertical and powering up. Taking the same bar, I can twist side to side, warming up my spine and my hips. We can do the same twist sitting, which takes the pelvis out and focuses just on the spine. Some balance exercising, using the pole as a bit of a support, lifting one leg, trying to hold it. Other side. You can pick up the pole. Sort of movement makes balance harder. To do some light resistance exercises but allow these areas of tendonitis and soreness to rest, just going to concentrate on exercises where I can, let's say, move my upper back, the scapula, those other muscles up there, to keep them energized and warmed up, but not allowing a lot of movement in my elbows. So start off with just a scapular push-up, where just I'm bringing my shoulder blades together and apart in a push-up type move. I'm not really bending my elbows, but holding my core steady. And aiming for a single repetition in a single set of about 15 reps. An exercise involving the same area, using a pull movement. I'm taking a TRX. You can do this with band as well. And again, keeping my arms pretty straight, just contracting my shoulder blades together. The higher you bring the strap up toward your face, it's going to exercise more of the rear deltoids. For an action interval, I'm going to take this platform and push it down to the end and back. Since this is an outdoor carpet, there's quite a bit of friction resistance. So this is a good total body exercise. But again, I'm going to minimize any overuse or activity involving my elbow. Let's see how it goes. Many facilities will have some sort of sled or other device where you can do that prolonged pushing. Again, one cycle is a pretty good interval, high intensity exercise. Other exercises for the lower body that are not moving a lot of weight, but increasing balance and the accessory muscle stabilization is to take a Bosu ball, one of these half domes. It's more stable if you put it with the flat side down. It's less stable if the flat side is up. Good to have some sort of support to assist with balance, at least while you're getting into it. And then just basically doing a deep squat and back up. Notice my feet, ankles are moving quite a bit just to maintain balance. I like to get as low as I can go and hold it, which is helping with my hip flexibility. The shrug is a good muscle for the exercising the trapezius and the upper shoulder muscles, but being concerned with my anterior left shoulder, I'm going to do a variation of a back shrug with dumbbells. It's easier to modify the position with dumbbells rather than a bar. So if I put it behind me and just shrug it this way, if you bring where your palms are together, dumbbells to the side, this is sort of a combination of the two, front and back. Additionally, by using that, I'm working on grip strength, which is quite important for everyday life and particularly in powerlifting. For a next action interval, I like to do mountain climbers, but instead of lifting my foot off the floor, I like to use a slide disc, and again, on this outdoor carpet, it increases the friction, which makes both the flexion and extension move a bit harder. So I think it's a more beneficial exercise, plus it reduces some of the impact of a mountain climber on particularly my toe joints. So putting the disc on the floor, feet on, plan for doing 10 to 20 repetitions on each side, working getting that heart rate up. For some core exercise, I want to do one called a vacuum, which you can do standing. The idea is you contract your core muscles, empty all the air out of your lungs, and hold it basically as an isometric for a few seconds. Well, there isn't much to see. There's a lot of muscle activity going on. So a bit different than bracing for a lift, where you inhale deeply, contract the core. There you exhale and contract the core. Similar to a heavy lift, you want to make sure that your blood pressure is in control, because there's possibility of during the contraction your blood pressure can elevate some. We'll do one more. Take a few moments breath. A variation on this is to do basically a reverse sit-up, where you have your feet stabilized somehow. You exhale and you allow your body to go down into a flat position. I think the easiest way to demonstrate this is using one of these benches like this that you can decline, that you can trap your feet up under the rollers. So starting at the top, I exhale completely, hold, track at the same time, then lower my body down to the bottom. When I'm at the bottom, I breathe and come back up. The exercise for both portions is actually the decline, coming back up any way you can. One thing you try to do is see how long and how slowly you do that decline. Just aiming for between 5 and 10 seconds. You don't want to go too long holding your breath. One more time. So to finish up, do a counterpart to my pushing exercise. I'm going to take this plate with a strap around it and pull it down to the end of the facility and back. Walking backwards, jogging backwards, quite beneficial. Exercising muscles you're not used to so much in our forward gait, either a walk or a jog. It's dangerous because it's going to increase your risk of tripping. You want to make sure you know that there's nothing to trip across behind you, no risk of getting hit by a car, some bicycle, whatever. So I like to do this either in a closed space like this, or just getting on a treadmill and walking or jogging backwards. You can always repeat this as many times as you want, get maybe 2 or 3 repetitions, but that's enough for demonstration. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you next time.